script information, and spilling the tea on medical and herbal care. Come back for a refill. This video is on a doctor who was serving 190 years in prison that lives in Dallas for poisoning patients' IV bags. He would take the IV bags, put a syringe through it with a cocktail of different medications, and then replace them back. And he was doing that because he wanted other doctors to look bad. And here is a brief video about the situation. And I'm sorry for the victims and who lost their lives and everyone who was hurt. And I'm hoping that they're okay now. And this happened in 2022, and now justice is finally being served.
The Dallas doctor convicted of injecting dangerous drugs into patients' IV bags will likely spend the rest of his life in federal prison.
A federal judge sentenced Dr. Reynaldo Ortiz to the maximum 190 years in prison. Fox 4's Lori Brown has the story.
The judge ruled that the actions of Dr. Reynaldo Ortiz were the same as attempted murder. And while not in the indictment, the judge said that he also found that Dr. Ortiz was responsible for the death of Dr. Melanie Kaspar.
It's everything I wanted to hear.
Federal Judge David Godbey said the words that finally brought justice for Dr. Melanie Kaspar's family. She died after trying to rehydrate herself at home with an IV bag, what turned out to be one of Dr. Reynaldo Ortiz's poison bombs. He did it, Judge Godbey said.
It was the conclusion that I think everybody knew. He knew it, I knew it, and now it's been put on record.
But Dr. Ortiz was not in the courtroom to hear it or the 7 statements by his victims. He waived his right, and prosecutors said the Crime Victims' Rights Act did not require him to be there. What do you think about Dr. Ortiz choosing not to be in the courtroom today?
It was certainly cowardly. I can't believe that he wasn't forced to be in there.
Anything he can control and manipulate and turn, he will, and he did it today.
Roxanne Bogdan was Ortiz's neighbor for 10 years.
He's escaped the law many times for terrible things.
Bogdan said the system and certain judges failed to listen.
He retaliated against me for testifying against him in court. He was convicted of shooting my dog in retaliation for my testimony. I'm only sad that we couldn't have stopped him earlier.
Judge Godbey also found Dr. Ortiz responsible for all 11 patient events, not just the 6 in the indictment, due to this video evidence.
He caused her great pain.
In court, Kaspar describes his wife's death from tainted IV fluids. She sat up twice during CPR with her eyes wide open but lifeless, he said in the courtroom. He described seeing this video of Dr. Ortiz filling up large syringes with dangerous drugs and putting them in his pocket, like watching the real-time murder of his wife. Kaspar said his friends and family got him through the crushing and consuming grief.
Anybody who's gone through depression, you don't get through it by yourself. You have to have many friends and family. And if you know somebody who's depressed, don't assume that they're going to get out of it on their own.
Now he will focus on remembering the good times with Melanie.
The batch of cookies every Sunday, the daily kiss goodbye in the morning, it was an everyday occurrence.
Kaspar thankful that starting now, justice has been served.
He got exactly what he deserved.
Roxanne Bogdan told me that as neighbors, she and Ortiz once were friends. She said that she reached out to him many times to try to encourage him to get help for his anger management and violent behavior. Ortiz now has the right to an appeal. In Dallas, Lori Brown, Fox 4 News.
This anesthesiologist named Dr. Melanie Kaspar wanted to treat herself for dehydration after a shift at the facility. So she takes an IV bag home, and it was supposed to just have, saline in it. But after she used it, the 55-year-old died at home in front of her husband, who said that she was just writhing on the floor in pain. Then, August 2022, an 18-year-old who was just having a routine sinus surgery when all of a sudden he had to be rushed to the intensive care unit. Doctors, they started to get suspicious that something was wrong with the IV, so a lab analyzed the fluid from the bag that was used during the 18-year-old's procedure, and they found multiple drugs that had no business being in there, including epinephrine, lidocaine, as well as this nerve-blocking agent. And according to experts, that mixture could have caused the boy's reaction. And the lab also documented a puncture in the bag as well. So in all, an investigation uncovered that 11 patients had major and potentially devastating reactions during surgery because of these tainted IV bags. Now, Dave, before I get into the evidence about linking up to Reynaldo, that is just next level.
Next level indeed. And the stories are just horrific. Even the ones who survived, like that 18-year-old, I mean, his parents were told that he has a 50-50 chance of surviving, of living. Imagine you go in for some minor surgery and then you're about to die from it, and people are wondering why. Well, because this guy kept doing it over and over again is finally why he got caught, or else perhaps he would never have gotten caught.
And you think about the motivation, it would be to make the hospital look bad, right? That's what it is, the facility, to make the facility look bad. I'm angry at them, well, look what's happening. All these people I'm going to purposely poison and, say it's the hospital's fault.
Well, what kind of a cold, callous individual would do this? In fact, he was there on camera as these individuals were wheeled out, like fighting for life. He was just sitting there still filling up his IV bags. I mean, it really does sound...
In here you will see more videos that they're sharing about how the doctor was able to get the drug cocktail that he made from the syringes into the IV bags. This is next level, and I wish it didn't happen to nobody. And also, he was doing this because, like I said before, he wanted that to other doctors to make them look bad because he had messed up on one of his previous surgeries. And it's a horrible way of trying to get someone back, but you're doing it to the patients. It's sad, and I'm glad he's getting the 190 days. It should be more.
like true evil.
So there's this investigation. It rolled out in September of 2022. The Texas Medical Board was notified. They held an emergency meeting and they suspended Ortiz's medical license. And as part of that investigation, as Dave just said, there's this damning surveillance video that was uncovered. In one of the videos, Ortiz can be seen taking IV bags from this warming bin and then replacing them right after. And those bags were then carried into operating rooms, and the patients the IV saline was given to, they suffered these sudden cardiac emergencies. You have another video where Ortiz is seen taking a vial out of a cabinet and an IV bag out of the warmer. In another one, Ortiz walks down the hall, opens the warmer, looks inside, shuts it again, possibly checking to see if the ones he tampered were still in there. There are videos that also show Ortiz mixing up vials of medication and even watching his victims, as Dave said, were wheeled out of the operating room by emergency responders. He has to know what he did.